YouTube, welcome back. Today we're going a little bit more broad. We're talking 3 gameplay strategy tips that will allow you to get more kills and get more wins. Now we're not going to be going into, how to approach a fight, how to push a team, or, even how to slide cancel. We're going to keep this a little bit more broad with strategy. So, as always, if you do find this content helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you are looking to get better, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss any videos. So, let's get into the first tip. Tip number 1, get your loadout as soon as possible. Okay, don't click away. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. You have to be using viable guns and you have to be using the correct builds. Now, at this point, there are hundreds of videos and statistics that have been run on the viable guns and the correct builds. So at this point, you should have a general idea. And the reason it's so important, if you use an AN-94 and you get killed by somebody with an AMAX and you both fire the same number of bullets and you both hit everybody in the same spot, there's a good chance you just died because your gun wasn't as good. So at the end of the day, you have to use viable guns, but you also have to use guns that you are comfortable with. So the nice part right now is the current state of the game. There's a lot of viable options. So let's run through them real quick. In terms of ARs and LMGs, you got your top dogs, the RAM and the AMAX, but you also have other options as well. You have the Krig, the Modern Warfare M4, the Grau, the Stoner, and the PKM. So you have 7 options in that class. You need to find the one that you're most comfortable with. Now, in terms of submachine guns, we really have 5. The Bullfrog, the LC-10, the MAC-10, and then the Modern Warfare and Cold War MP5. Again, find what you are best with. And as a beginner, as somebody that's looking to get better, master one. I want you to use the same guns every game. Don't use the LC-10 one game, the MAC-10 another. If you're truly looking to get better and get more kills, stick to one gun. Find what works best for you. And then in terms of snipers/marksman rifles, of course, we have the Kar 98, the SPR, the HDR, the Tundra, and the recent addition, which right now it looks like is going to be pretty good, is the Swiss. So at the end of the day, you should be using one of those combinations of guns, sniper AR, sniper sub, AR sub, and sticking with it and just getting super comfortable. So that's tip number 1. Get your loadout, use viable guns, have the correct builds. Tip number 2, cash flow. Cash flow is one of the most important things in this game. It is the difference between having a really good game and dying pretty early, and here's why. It allows you to pop UAVs. It allows you to buy self-res. It allows you to buy teammates back if you need to. If you're running quads and you have $12,000 and your 3 teammates are dead, you buy them all back, you're back full strength. If you're running quads and you have $200, that regain is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. I mean, you're talking 2 supply runs if you're lucky, depending on cash flow and contract bonus and all that stuff. Cash flow is just so important. It allows you to play more aggressive because if one person dies, you just buy them back. If you have enough money, you buy them another loadie, and then you have a loadout sitting in zone that anybody can hit at any time. Cash flow is one of the most crucial parts of this game. And I'm actually going to talk about a tip here that really allows you to get more kills that will tie all 3 of these tips together kind of at the end. Tip number 3. Use cars. Guys, I know a lot of people are scared of using cars, and I get it. It puts you on the map. People know where you are. But here's what they allow you to do. Rotate safely, right? You can rotate into zone, not have to worry about being on foot and having to fight a team or 2 teams while pushing into gas. Use cars. Find a trophy system, use cars. I'm not even talking, you don't even have to use them all the time, but definitely use them to rotate into gas and stuff. Reason number 2, you won't get caught out in the open. How many times have you been running through the viaduct or running through the field and you just get absolutely torched? Use a car. It's safer. Tip number 3, if you know where a team is, you can push into ideal positioning. So if a team is in the viaduct, you can push on top of the hill and easily just beam them because they're going to be out in the open. And tip number 4, well, we'll back up. This is the tip that wraps everything together. So let's run through them real quick. Get your loadout as soon as possible. Cash flow. Use cars. All of these things allow you to push non-ghosted teams. One of the most important parts of getting more kills is pushing non-ghosted teams. Guys, you can't push a ghosted team. It's very difficult. So you're going to be looking to play faster and push people that are on radar that you can rotate to in a car. So you pop UAV, you rotate in a car, you have your loadout guns, you can easily take out that team because you know where they are. Now, the reason I started with saying get your loadout as soon as possible, there's kind of 3 stages of a normal Warzone game. You have your early game. Now, the sooner you can get loadout, you can go kill teams while they're looting, right? Because they're not going to have loadout yet, or they're going to go overkill, and you can go ahead and push them and take on that fight. The more kills you can get before that free loadout comes, the better off you're going to be, because a lot of beginner teams tend to go ghost, or even advanced teams that go overkill with that first loadout are going to go ghost with that free one. So the more people you can kill before that free loadout comes, the better off you're going to be. Now, reason number 2 or tip number 2 when it comes to pushing non-ghosted teams, or kind of this middle ground, is once everybody's ghost, then it's kind of a weird spot. You're going to be pushing teams potentially with a bounty, or, you know, maybe somebody died and came back and got their loadout guns. You're going to be kind of finding where to go, and you may get 1 dot or 2 dots, and it may end up being a full team. So that middle area is kind of a weird part where people are dying. You know, you may be pushing 2 non-ghosted players and there are 2 ghosted players. So it's kind of a middle ground. It tends to slow down a touch until people start dying and coming back from Gulag and popping on radar again. Then you got your end game. At this point, you're playing that end game. And if you haven't seen my video talking about how to win more, make sure you go check that out. But ultimately, what it comes down to is you're going to have a better sense of where teams are rotating from. People are still going to be popping on UAV, so you may pop a UAV endgame. You see that they're on the opposite side of the circle. You rotate the car. There's 2 non-ghosted and 2 ghosted. You take out the whole team. Now a team's eliminated, and it becomes a little bit easier to win. So bring everything all together. The sooner you can get your loadout, the better. The more cash flow you have, the better. And use cars so that you can rotate safely. As I always say, let's get better today and follow for more. Well, in this case, subscribe for more. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you do like it. And let's go get more kills and more wins.